faces behind the conversation, or you can follow the live stream as well. There too, you are able to see the faces behind the conversation. If you want to know how to get there, you can go to my website, seymourjournal.com, MOORE, seymourjournal.com. And when the page opens, there's a banner right at the top. You just click on it. It leads you right in, and you're able to look at it, look at the live stream, even on your handheld device. What do you know? Okay, for those of you who are following us as usual during drive time, because drive time it is, you might be heading out to work or maybe heading home from work. Either way, it's good to have you. All right, so this afternoon, what is before us is the subject matter of a project, I believe, that is organized by UNESCO. And we have some young folks here who will be participating in this. You'll learn all about it and how they are preparing themselves for it. With me is the Secretary General for UNESCO, who I would first welcome and have her just give us a briefing on what this symposium is all about and how our students and our people here on St. Maarten would benefit from it. With that said, and then a little bit later on, I'll allow you to get a feel of the participants and how they're doing in preparation for this. Good afternoon to you, Miss Henry.
And good afternoon, Mr. Moore.
It's good to have you.
And also to the drivers going home and also,
Going out to work.
going out to work.
Those are the ones who are listening the most because they're on the road.
Well, we appreciate them listening.
Yeah.
And most so, it's a pleasure to be here today with the youth representatives who will be participating in the UNESCO 7th World Heritage Youth Symposium. And this symposium gathers young people from all over the world to discuss culture and heritage. So we have young people that are coming from China, from America, from India, from various aspects of Europe. And I am proud to say that St. Maarten is the only Caribbean island that will be represented and has been represented at this World Heritage Youth Symposium for the past 4 years.
In many ways, then, they would have to be representing the region, which is the Caribbean.
Indeed. And that is something that our young people from St. Maarten have been doing a dynamic job with the students from before. They ensure that one, they know, meaning the other participants know where St. Maarten is. St. Maarten is within the Caribbean, and therefore the Caribbean context is definitely represented in that aspect. And then they have to tell them, show them, let them experience the St. Maarten's cultural heritage. And they do a dynamic job as well. Whether it's demonstrating our Panam dance, our national dance, whether it's demonstrating the three-step polka, which they did last year. And this year, I'm going to let the young people tell you what they're doing this year. But this year, they will again be introducing St. Maarten's heritage and history to the world.
Okay. All right. Let me start to my extreme left. I do have with us Aljane Henry. Well, tell us something about yourself, Aljane.
Okay, my name is Aljane Henry, and I go to the St. Maarten Academy. I am in third form, and I was chosen to represent St. Maarten in the World Youth Cultural Heritage in Greece.
All right. And next we have Siona, but I won't even attempt to call her last name because I don't want to eat it up. Siona, tell us a little bit about yourself and are you looking forward to this?
So hi, my name is Siona Gyanchandani. I'm 15 years old and I study in the science stream, third form at the St. Maarten Academy. And I'm really looking forward to going to this symposium in Greece.
And next to Siona we have Reese Prince.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Reese Prince. I'm 14 years old and I'm in the science stream at St. Maarten Academy, and I'm also really glad to have this opportunity to go.
Okay. All right. Ms. Henry, the preparation for all this, what are some of the things that you established to be important in order for them to meet the required representation that would, I don't know if they would be getting anything as a result of how well they perform,
Yes.
but lead us there.
Sure, I can give you and also the audience an understanding of the selection process. In order for us to have the best and most, let's say, dynamic individuals represent St. Martin, we go through one, the application process. So they had to submit their application form and also motivate why they think they can be a great candidate to represent St. Martin at the symposium. So you have that application process aspect where they're writing, where they're selling themselves, where they're also telling us about their extracurricular activities. Because what is important for UNESCO is that students are well rounded. So not only having the academia, that knowledge base, we want to ensure that they're participating in the cultural aspect or in the sport aspect, or even they're participating in debates or even in topics that are very important, whether it's climate change, whether it's the environment. UNESCO wants to ensure that students are as in St. Martin, like around the world, are as let's say well-rounded and also are engaged. So that's one, by the application process. And then they go through an interview process.
Okay.
And with the interview process, now we want to know, do they know about this island, St. Martin?
Oh, enough.
They are representing St. Martin. Do they have at least the basic knowledge of St. Martin so that they can be able to engage in a conversation with the young people at the symposium? They're going to be having persons from China, wherever, and they should be able to talk about St. Martin national symbols. They should be able to talk about some of the elements that make St. Martin's unique, a unique island within the Caribbean context and the world. So these particular information, they have some historical knowledge. So with the interview process, that's where we were able to question them to see how much they know. And then from there, which we are going to be doing now, is to prepare them for this upcoming event. So whatever might be deficient, now myself and also the St. Martin Youth Council representatives, we ensure that we will participate in or engaging them in sessions so they learn more.
Quickly, they are only concerned with what is it there about St. Martin that makes St. Martin St. Martin. They are not concerned with what other countries are doing because that's not their concern. So they're focused on just presenting St. Martin.
They're focusing on presenting St. Martin, that's one. But then we also want to ensure that they have the speaking skills, the interpersonal skills, the debating skills as well, because they're going to be engaging in conversations, conversations on different topics. And we want to ensure that our young people are as articulate as possible to be able to communicate, discuss, and represent themselves.
One more quick question.
Sure.
Are they going to have any deliberations with the other participants, or they're just confined to themselves?
No, there will be sessions where there's always general sessions, but then there will also be breakout sessions where they're with other groups and we engage in conversations.
Let's start with Reese. Just get as close as she can to the microphone. Reese, tell me, what would you say that you bring to the table that make you the perfect candidate to represent St. Martin?
Well, I would say I participate in many things. Like I'm a dancer, and I'm also really good with academics. So I'm a very creative person. So I bring different like creative aspects together. Like I can write very well and I speak very well. So I can like form different creative parts of our program and such.
That's what you were thinking when you decided that you're going to fill out the form so that you can qualify?
Yeah. I really want to show like the different creative aspects of St. Martin and what our island means to me since this is my home.
All right, Siona. What same question. What would you say you're good at? Why you think you are the perfect candidate to represent St. Martin?
Okay, so firstly, I'm very interested in like culture. So I want to show other people from all around the world like what's unique about St. Martin and what is special about St. Maarten rather than the other countries, and also like want to learn about other countries as well, so that I can bring that knowledge back to St. Maarten and share it with my community and my school. And I also participate in many public speaking events and have done like graduations, etc. So I think I'm a very good public speaker, and I can really show what is unique about our island to the other countries.
What do you hope? What maybe you can describe for us what would be your presentation, or is synchronized with anybody else? You're going to be doing what you think would you would be engaged in to make your presentation. Um, you heard from me. She said she's a dancer, or she's creative, or whatever. So I hope that when she's making a presentation, it comes with some creativity. In your case, what do you think you would say would be part of your presentation?
So like I'm also very creative, like, and I'm also very good at like explaining and like describing. So like some people, like even if we say things about St. Maarten, a lot of people may not understand. So like describing it, explaining it very well is like very important,
Okay.
and like so they can really understand what it's all about.
So your display primarily would be the public speaking aspect of the presentation.
Yes.
All right, Aljani, Aljane, yeah, Aljane. Now it's your turn. I wonder what is there about you that made you feel that it was worth filling out this form so that you could be a part of the team.
Starting off, my main reason for filling out the form was because I wanted for others to learn about St. Maarten, because I know St. Maarten is a small island in the Caribbean. When people think about the Caribbean, they mostly think of Jamaica, they think of the big countries. But I want St. Maarten to be out there so other people could learn about St. Maarten. The aspect I bring, just as Reese and Siona said, I also bring the creativity aspect, and I am also a rapid thinker, so I also bring a lot of ideas and new things that we could do. Yeah.
To demonstrate
Yeah.
what St. Martin is all about.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this is a good question for you. Do they have something set to present, and among them would they be deciding who would do what and who would do what? How that works?
Yes, I wanted them to be able to, but I would just put the preamble.
Okay.
They are going to be presenting one site on St. Maarten that should be nominated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So they have collectively came up with one particular site, and the site that they said that is UNESCO World Heritage worthy, our Great Salt Pond.
Mm.
And I let them elaborate on that.
What is there about the salt pan that really make you think this would be ideal as a World Heritage Site?
So, well, for me, I think that the salt pond is a really big part of St. Martin's history, of course. It was one of our main industries when we first started out, and it really kept like the settlers, like the Dutch and the other European countries here. So it really got our businesses going and such.
Were you able to do any research, because such as it is at the moment wasn't what it was like?
No.
And I guess then it would have been more suited to be a World Heritage, but you wasn't even born yet.
No.
So what did you find out?
So yes, the Great Salt Pond used to be in a better state back in the days, but even though it may not look as grand as it used to, it is still very, very important.
Yeah.
It is a great natural site. So that is one we want it to be a World Heritage Site so that it can continue to be preserved so that we don't lose this important part of our culture.
What is it about the salt pond that you can tell me? I mean, I feel that I might be more suited to tell you what the salt pond is like, but you, of course, think that this is worth identifying as a UNESCO heritage site. In your view, what can you tell me that would still give it the value, even though it might be different than what it originally was?
Yeah, so even though like now it's like, you know, polluted and a lot smaller than it was before as it got like filled up with land, but even so, like salt was one of our main industries back in the days, and all the Europeans used to come to the island to get salt and to preserve their food and etc. And like, you know, it was a very important part and it was the main economy of St. Martin at a time. So even though like it might not be as it was back in the days, it's still important to like preserve the culture of the salt pond so that, you know, people can get to still know, because as you said, like young generation might not know a lot about the salt pond. So we still want to, you know, show people about the salt pond and what is unique about
Were
the
you
salt.
able to see an old picture of salt that gave you the right perspective of what the salt pond really was?
Yeah, we saw like pictures of the salt pond, how it was
Okay.
before,
Okay.
and also the salt pickers and how they used to pick and harvest the salt.
I guess that is important because with that prior knowledge, it gives you more confidence to affirm that rightfully it can be a World Heritage Site. Anthony, what about the salt pond? When you think of it, did it strike you in any way um, that give you any maybe a special love for the site?
Okay, so honestly speaking, before we even decided that we was going to do the salt pond, we also had other ideas on other sites that we would preserve, and some picked the salt pond, but I didn't. I picked the border monument. But after some discussion, we realized that the salt pond is more important to preserve than the border monument. And since Siona and Reese basically said it all, I can't say what we plan to do on preserving the salt pond. So first off, in our presentation, we plan to create a PowerPoint about the salt pond, informing all the other countries and so on what it's about, how it's so important, and why it should be preserved. We also go into the creative aspect where we decided that we're going to dramatize salt being picked, and also a poem we plan to present called Sweet Salt by Yaya.
You know who's Yaya?
No.
So, yeah,
Oh man, yeah, she is. She is just that. Well, she was then. She's passed, but she was dynamite. And if you can get some research on her, it would be wonderful, because she is indicative of what the real Saint Martin is all about. Yeah, yeah. All right. Good. Uh, I don't know if you have given any consideration or this came up at any time, but of late, and maybe you can speak to that, Miss Henry. Of late, we have something really new and contemporary that has become world famous, and that is the close proximity of airplanes landing on St. Martin. And I wonder if that came anywhere into the picture, because people will hear that first of St. Martin even before they hear of the cultural aspect of having had. And I think that but I don't know if they can dramatize anything about that, because that is so very different. But as a heritage site, that too can come into play, can't it?
it definitely can in the future, but it needs to have some kind of historical significance, cultural significance.
Okay, I hear you.
And then you have to look at the site as well. Does it have environmental significance, anything? So you have to look at the totality of that and not just a tourist site or a tourist attraction. And I think that's what made there are actually five students in the total.
Okay.
Two are not here with us, but three of them selected the Salt Bomb because they saw the cultural significance, they saw the historical significance, they saw the environmental aspect in terms of its biodiversity, etc.,
Yes, okay.
which they brought forward
It's
in their
connected
presentation.
to our culture.
Correct.
Yes.
It fed the people. So they look at the economical aspect. So they saw the total aspect, and that was quite unique when I experienced and I saw their presentation.
Algine, what are you thinking?
I actually feel like it can be included when we explaining what is St. Martin or where is St. Martin as an island, because before we even talk about the salt pond, they need to know about the island so they know what we're talking about, and that's actually a very interesting thing to say about the island that can draw the audience's attention in the starting
Yeah.
before
So
we
you
even
see
get
that
to
as
this.
a good reference,
Yeah.
a reference point to get people to identify themselves with what St. Martin is all about.
Exactly. The island.
Yeah. What are you thinking? What's in your mind?
Well, like Aljane said, like also we can like add that because I feel like a lot of people when they think of St. Martin, like if they know about St. Martin, that's what they would first think about. So we can like add that to our presentation along with the Great Salt Pond being like our main historical
Yeah.
site.
How important it is for you to have this knowledge of St. Martin to the point where you may not be sidetracked just in the event that somebody knew something of St. Martin that you didn't know, and then you can't verify that, oh yeah, that is us. How important it is for you to know this?
Well, yes, it is very, very important for us to know about our island, not only just because it's where we live, but also so that we can educate others who may not know about our island from the different countries in the world.
Are you looking forward to this?
Yes, of course I am.
And how excited are you, would you say? Describe it for me.
On a scale of 1 to 10, like a solid 9.5.
Nine. So it's not a 10.
No, not a 10 just yet. Like
Yeah.
closer to
Okay, you want to go down the scale? How excited are you to be able to represent not just St. Martin now, because based on this conversation we're having, it seems like you would be representing a region,
Yeah.
which is the Caribbean,
Yeah.
and in so doing, there must be a special feeling.
Yeah, so I'm like very honored to be receiving this opportunity to represent like not only St. Martin but the whole Caribbean, and I'm very excited. So like a 9.6 out of 10.
Any jittery feelings? I mean, you're not going to be home where you can get comfortable quite easily. You're going to be among so many different people, and it's a different environment for you to fuse yourself with. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so I'm very grateful that I was chosen for this opportunity because this is a big opportunity. I've never ever been to Greece before. But on the other hand, I'm also very humble about the whole thing. I'm not too excited, but I'm just, humble at the opportunity that I was chosen to go. And it's going to be different for me. It's going to be different for all of us actually because we're going to be in a room full of different people from all over the place that we never met or seen before. So yeah, I'm also kind of nervous.
Yeah. Are you concerned any that people might just be drawn towards you guys because you're coming from an unfamiliar place as far as they are concerned? And I mean, they have what is cultural about them, but you have what is cultural about you as well. And although you're representing St. Martin, you may want to throw in something general from the region because they might want to know what the geographical area is like. Are you giving consideration to all those things? And I wonder, I know you would be prepared to represent, but in school, in your education, do you think enough has been shared in schools, in the school system about St. Maarten?
Okay, so in my school, from first to second form, they have civics and they learn a lot about St. Martin. Because we learn a lot of good information, historical information. But when you reach to third and fifth, we don't have civics no more. But we have social studies and history. But history focuses generally on the Caribbean, and social studies also focuses generally on the Caribbean. So one thing they can change, or I would suggest to change, is to keep civics in the syllabus from first till fifth form.
I'm not going to go any further for the moment. I want to take a break because she just light up. She just put a fuse in what I've been calling for the longest while, the subject of physics, and because they learn so much more about their system, their country, their government, and how things work. And she's right. If they do teach a little bit leading up to the more senior years of schooling for which is high, secondary and high, why not teach civics up there? Because that is going to help them to prepare themselves for knowing a lot of things. Anyway, let me take a break quickly, girls and girls and guys. The guys happens to be me and my technical director across the hall. We'll take a quick break, folks. This is In the View with yours truly. I'm here with some students who would be representing St. Maarten and the Caribbean region in the UNESCO World Heritage Youth Symposium, and that happens to be in Athens, Greece. We'll take a quick break and come right back. Okay, welcome back, folks, to your interactive talk program right here on 102.7 1300. It's Wednesday afternoon. I'm here with the candidates that would be representing St. Maarten and, by extension, the Caribbean for the UNESCO World Heritage Youth Symposium that would be held in Greece, in Athens, Greece. Now that you have heard how they are prepared to represent St. Maarten and to speak of the cultural aspect and what is there about St. Maarten that can be considered a heritage site, to be considered by UNESCO, of course. We hope that they would do a good representation, and so that it would remain on the table to be considered as World Heritage Site. I think that would only mean that we would have to start working on that particular area to keep it more or less, well, which is basically the heart of what St. Maarten is all about. And I'm glad that together, collectively, you were able to come up with something, although there were other things at play here. So now that we know this, obviously, you can't just walk to the airport and tell the folks them that you're going to Athens, Greece, without having
Money.
Thank you so very much, my dear. So I wonder, I'll ask them, Miss Henry, what they're doing to be able to get this most needed funds so that they would be able to attend. Ladies, who is going to start? Okay, the thing is,
Okay.
if you want to get help, it means that you're gonna really have to ask people to support what you're doing. So maybe you can start there.
Okay, so I know the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know most of you guys, like 99% of you guys, have already figured out what you guys ate for lunch today. But did you figure out what you're gonna eat this Saturday, March 7th? Because if not, we have a fundraiser at the University of St. Maarten where we're selling chicken leg, ribs, a combo which is ribs and chicken leg, vegetarian and fish. All boxes come with rice, fried rice and peas, macaroni pie, potato salad, green salad, coleslaw, and plantain.
Wait. All of that in one box?
Yup.
That's a big box. Okay. So how much for that?
The chicken leg is $10. The ribs is $12, as well as the fish. and the combo is $14.
That's reasonable for a big plate of food like that. So okay. So and who is preparing all this?
Our parents volunteered to help prepare for
Okay.
some of this. But you guys don't get scared. Our parents are great cooks.
So that's one of the ways that you are going to be raising money for to be
Yes.
able to make this. And by the way, something we didn't say. When is this going to happen?
This Saturday, March
No,
7th.
not the thing. When are you
Oh, going to
leaving
Greece.
for Greece?
April 20th to the
Oh,
26th.
okay. I just think that is important for folks to understand that this is not just you're leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
The kind of stuff. Yeah. Aljane.
So, as Aljane said, we have the food sale, and along with that, we also have a raffle that's gonna be drawn on March the 28th, and it costs $5 for a raffle ticket.
What are you
And
raffling?
we have like 5 great prizes.
I'll tell you about those amazing prizes. So first up, our first main prize, we have a 2-night stay at Oyster Bay Beach Resort. Second, we have a 2-night stay at Sapphire Beach Club and Resort. Then we have a 2-night stay at Alicia's Inn, a brunch for two at Infinity Restaurant, and a desk chair from Office World.
So all of these are going to be prizes for those who
Yes.
participate in the raffle. How can they get raffle ticket?
Oh, they can get raffle tickets Saturday if they choose to come to our lovely food sale.
Saturday at the University of St. Maarten from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
So that's a smart move. So in order for someone to be part of that raffle, if that's all they're interested in, they have to come
Yeah, come buy some food.
buy
guys.
some food. Quite smart. Anything else you're doing? And are you have any backup plan just in case that you don't raise enough money or any fund that is arranged anywhere? Any one of you?
Well, of course, we're raising funds personally and as a group. So in our school, we do pizza sales to raise funds, but also individually we raise funds. So we ask different businesses if they can contribute. So we hope they get back to us and we get as much funds as possible.
Okay. Aljane, talk a little bit about the tickets for the food sale. How can people get these tickets?
Okay, so you can get these tickets by contacting Miss Marcella Henry, the Secretary General of UNESCO. Can I say a number?
Yes, you have
Okay, so
to have a choice.
her number, yeah, to get Miss Marcella, her number is 520-3051. Repeating again, 520-3051.
And that's for tickets to support the food sale that they'll be having. And this food sale is going to be where at the university?
Yes.
Yes.
At the ground floor of the university. And it's this coming Saturday. What time do they need to be there?
From 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you don't know where the University of St. Maarten is, it's basically opposite the government building.
Really?
Yes. Because in school, I was telling some classmates, and they said they didn't know where the University of St. Maarten is.
Wow. I'm glad you said that. You know why? That shows how little informed we can be at times about our own surroundings. And that's why I really appreciate the fact that I had the opportunity to speak to you guys, because I'm a little skeptical about how much is being taught in our educational system when it comes to what we know about St. Maarten. It's not just grammar. There are a whole bunch of other things. It's not just grammar, as far as English is concerned, formulas as far as maths is concerned, but you should have a good knowledge of your surrounding, and when you have that, it that's where the pride and the cultural aspect is built. Um, what about your national symbols? Some of that would be factored in. What are they that are important as far as you're concerned?
Well, we have the brown pelican, we have the flamboyant tree. These are all big parts of St. Martin's like biodiversity, so the plant life here on St. Martin. So that will definitely be mentioned.
Um, Miss Henry,
Yes.
as far as I'm coming from a teaching background, you know that. So as a result, a lot of things play.
Correct.
Wetland is one of the primary things about St. Martin as well that makes it so different. Because when you think of the Great Salt Pond, that's not the only salt pond there was.
No.
So
You want me? I can provide some additional information
that would be
to
helpful.
to our audience, the persons listening. In addition to the Great Salt Pond, we had a number of them on the front side. We have the Grand Car Salt Pond. We also had the Orient Bay Salt Pond. We had the Mount Vernon Salt Pond. So we had these other salt ponds that played very crucial role in enabling the St. Martin people to be able to make a livelihood at that particular time of that time period, whether it was during and after slave period, up until the Dutch side was up until about the 1950s, 1949s, the Dutch side, and then on the front side it went even further to the 1960s. So the Mount Vernon, the Grand Cars, the Orient Bay Salt Pond,
Yeah.
very crucial, very crucial.
And it's important for them to know that
Oh yes,
so that they don't give the impression that there is just
one.
one great.
No, there were several. There were several indeed.
So I guess that makes St. Martin very special to us. Do you know salt is a preservative?
Yes.
And that can very well fit into the whole makeup of. As a matter of fact, we had a salt trading with the Netherlands, didn't we, Marcella? Yeah, we.
Yes.
They actually used to take a lot of salt out of St. Martin.
Well, St. Martin was actually colonized by the Dutch West India Company. And the Dutch West India Company was the main, let's say, they had the monopoly in terms of the ones that took the salt off from the Dutch side of the island and then, of course, had it exported, to various parts of the world, whether it was USA, Europe, Holland, etc. So they, meaning the Dutch West India Company back in those days, they were the ones that started it, even though we need to give credit back to the indigenous people.
Yeah.
The indigenous people who gave the island the name. And one of the young people remember the name. What name did they give St. Martin?
Swaliga.
Aha.
That's right. Okay, and some of the icons of the past. You mentioned Yaya.
Yeah.
I think you said that you have a presentation,
Yes.
a poem that you most naturally would be presenting on Yaya. Maybe if you could share that with. By the way, let me tell you something about Yaya. I had the distinct privilege to interview her and talk with her and see her representing what the slaves used to be like back in the day. And St. Martin had a very unique dress that made of many, many, many different colors and styles. When I say styles, I mean one might have a flower on it, the other might have whatever, but she made a dress out of different cloth. And that's one of the things about her that I will always remember.
The frock.
The frock. Yeah, frock. Yeah, dress for all you who don't know what a frock is. You know what a frock is?
No, I didn't before, but now I know.
What's a frock?
A dress?
A dress. That is what they used to call it before, my dear. All right, so you want to share that poem with us? Set yourselves up.
Sure.
And maybe that would be nice. Let me hear what was written about Yaya. Who wrote this poem, by the way?
Yeah.
Yaya.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
all
Oh,
right.
I also forgot to mention we're remixing her song, the sweet salt.
Sweet Salt.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to sing that?
Oh no, but I just wanted to say
Okay.
that that's
You'll
a
bring.
part of the presentation.
Okay. Sweet salt. Sweet salt.
Sweet salt, sweet salt. It's a song basically, not written by Yaya,
Uh-huh.
but it's normally for that it is given credit. I've heard it being given credit by Upu. Upu
Umpu.
being the actual
Yes.
writer, but
Yeah.
I need to have that confirmation.
Mhm.
But that song, Sweet Salt, that the actual song and the reenactment, they will be having that part of the
Yeah.
presentation. So we are prepping them
Yep.
for the poem, which they will be reciting that Yaya wrote, but also with the depiction, the dramatization will be used in that particular song as well,
Okay.
so that we can capture the attention of our audience and also educate them about what our ancestors did in relation to our salt heritage.
Any one of you were able to meet Umpu?
No.
No, I
No,
never have.
no.
But he was a poet. He was a poet. Okay, go ahead. You want to start?
Can you
Jenny?
give us a countdown, please?
3, 2, 1.
Abandoned salt pan? What abandoned salt pan? This land was white with salt. Salt, you see? Salt when airplane pass in the air? Was only salt pan, blue sea, green cane, plantation, banana fields, and me. Salt season was ripe. Woman and man from all over here was coming to pick the salt.
Salt
For so, when Anguillians was salt pickers too, man digging, loading, helping up the woman, salt on their head, climbing up the ladder.
We had to tie we had to carry the salt. Salt water dripping on we.
We tie we back and pick we salt till we back hot and fingers burn and we toes bleed.
Load in the dinghy, oaring out to sea. Full the javelin, ipana, wasp eye with we salt, and we back hot. When thirsty salt water we drink.
Abandoned salt, sweet salt pond, abandoned salt pond.
Very nice. Wow. I didn't know you guys could speak in the colonial English too as well. It is written that way?
It is written that way.
Okay.
It
So,
is in the book. For those who are interested in actually seeing the poem and also reciting it as well, they can look for the book by Yaya Laurel Richards, The Frock.
The Frock.
The Frock and Other Stories. Yes.
So that
Other
poem is
poems.
in the book.
It is in the book.
Oh.
And it's published by House of Nehesi. So it's in there along with other outstanding poems. And when I saw it, first I have to pitch and then bring it to them. And then they being the ones who are presenting, they had to decide. So I'm very happy that they gave it a thumbs up and they will be presenting that as part of their presentation at the Youth Symposium.
Wow, I'm very impressed with the poem, of course, because it came across in a way that only we can present it that way. And the thing is, people who might be listening to your presentation from all around the world have no idea of what the original. Some of them may even want to know what it's saying. What is, because that's some of what you would expect when everybody else is, and you can inspire them to do better about their presentation as well. I don't know when you are going to do your presentation, if there is a scale. They wouldn't know now, right? When they would be making their presentation, because if others make theirs first,
Yeah.
these who comes after.
Correct.
Can-
They will be on, I believe, in the morning of the Thursday between April 20th to April 26th. I think either the Thursday or the Friday.
Yeah.
But of course, we're going to have it video recorded and we're going to have it available on my Unesco Facebook page, and we would also have it on the Youth Council Facebook page so that the audience can see the dynamic, exceptional work and presentation that they give.
Let me stay with you for a second,
Sure.
because I'm wondering how come we end up being the only ones from the Caribbean to be presented there.
Well, as the Secretary General for UNESCO, we get tons of emails.
Okay.
And then, as the Secretary General from the various Caribbean regions, you have to check and see what is relevant to a necessary. And from my point of view, it was necessary for our St. youth representatives to be able to present themselves at international level.
Yeah.
That's one. And then be able to learn about their cultural heritage and then share it with others. So it has to do with the interests and also the finances. They have to look at that too.
Yeah.
To go to Greece is a lot of fundraising efforts, and not everyone is able to do so. So I'm very happy that this will be the fourth opportunity that St. Maarten has been participating.
And to get there, you guys really need the support of the public.
We do.
Aljane, I think I have to lean on you, because you seem to be the one who is championing why people should come out and support this whole thing, and you're telling people not to be afraid
Yeah.
of the big plate of food because
Our parents
our
are
parents
good
are good
cooks.
cooks.
Yeah. Okay, so for anybody who owns a business listening or who just personally is okay financially to support, prepare to get a pen and paper because I'll be saying the banking information in case you would like to support.
Donate towards this
donate.
event, yes.
Okay.
You're able to.
Okay,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay, so Windward Island Bank, the digits are 8
Guilders or dollars? Because you have,
XCG.
that's Caribbean guilders.
Caribbean
Yeah.
guilders, yes.
So that is 871 80 803, and for US dollars it is 871 80805, and the name is St. Maarten Youth Council Association.
Give me the XCG one again, the account number for guilders, Caribbean guilders.
Okay, so the Gilders digits again, it is 871 80803.
Okay. So anyone wishing to donate towards this cause, they can easily just transfer the money straight to Windward Islands Bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
And any little will help.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. The more the merrier, but of
Yeah.
course, whatever you can contribute would certainly help. And on top of that, this Saturday you say you're having the food sale,
Yes.
and folks can get ticket by calling
Miss Marcella.
Miss Marcella Henry by calling 520-3051
Yes.
and get your tickets. And when you get there, you also have another opportunity to be a part of a raffle. And that raffle would enable them to get Reese, what would they get? What would they win? Can you remember? You don't have to be
Yeah.
everything,
Okay.
but some of the prizes that they can
Some
win.
of the prizes.
So our main prize, our top prize, is a 2-night stay at Oyster Bay Beach Resort. Our next prize is a 2-night stay at Sophia Beach Resort. Our third prize is a 2-night stay at Alicia's Inn, followed by a brunch for 2 at Infinity Restaurant, and then we have a desk chair from Office World.
Wow, and you want to thank those persons for
Yes,
having
thank
me.
you so
Yes,
much
thank
to
you.
all our
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yeah.
Because what we don't have will have to come out of our parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say something to Siona. You surprised me a little bit, but I could imagine that what I'm looking at is St. Maarten, right? I didn't expect you to pull off that colonial stuff. You speak like that sometimes.
Not really.
So a lot of both Siona, Reese, and what's your name, rub off on you. Then I'm saying that because people wouldn't even associate you with St. Maarten, really, and that is for real. But that's one of the reasons why I didn't even make an attempt to try and pronounce your last name, because I didn't want to destroy it. But that is also something about St. Martin that we have to appreciate.
Yeah.
We have folks from just about everywhere.
Yeah.
That becomes what St. Martin is all about. And I want to thank you for committing yourselves. Did it take anything out of your regular schedule and study to prepare yourselves for this?
A lot of time
Yeah.
and a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifices to like leave meetings or extracurricular activities we have to do just so we can meet with each other and cooperate with each other and discuss with each other how we're going to get this money, what we're going to do, and not embarrass ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now, what would be a final word to the folks?
Well, if you guys can like support us in any way, please support us because, you know, other than like if we don't receive enough funds, we're gonna have to pay out of pocket. So yeah, support if possible.
When you have less to worry about,
Yeah,
you become
it-
more
yeah.
grounded, right?
Yes.
I'll give you a chance to button up the whole conversation. You go right ahead and tell us, Reese.
So, thank you for having us all, of course. Unfortunately, two of us couldn't be here, but I'm sure they would have loved to be here. Oh, yes. We have Hadassah Isaac, who's also on our team, and Tiara Hodge.
Okay, so
Hadassah Isaac.
Hadassah and Tiara,
Tiara.
they missed out. That's just it. Thank you so very much for coming and sharing the time with us here. And I certainly hope that persons listening would make their way over to both the university and wherever else they can help. Again, folks, if you want to help and you can't be at any of these functions, you can transfer some funds, whatever it is, to the account at WebBank 871-80803 for the XCG, and for the dollars 871-80805. I'm gonna have to end it there. Thanks again, ladies, for coming in and for sharing
Thank
the
you for
time.
having us.
All right. That's it for this afternoon, folks. You do the ride home, and I know some of you now feel that it's okay, I can get out my car because you're now satisfied. Because folks usually wait until the program is finished. That's it for now. Over to the newsroom we go. You take care of yourselves. Goodbye.